You got to stop guessing. You got to start trading. Right here in this video, we're going to talk about a very simple premise, my friends. Stop guessing and start trading. Let's get into it. We're going to focus on the idea that you've got to stop guessing and you got to start trading. You got to get rid of all the bullshit. You got to start actually just trading, my friends. It's that simple. At the end of the day, we're entering a trade. We know where our risk is. We know where our profit is, and that's the deal. There's no guessing. There's no hoping. There's no praying. At the open today, we talked about this move. It was perfectly set up there on the 15-minute chart at open. We talked about this trend line for the push. I saw people in the chat after this big move up on the 15-minute chart, people talking about how they blew up their account because they were shorting this move higher. Seriously, guys, like, let's just get rid of all these indicators. At what point does this look like a short? This point, even there, not really looking like a short just yet. At the end of the day, there's one very key thing to look for if you're looking to get short. It's looking for a higher low. Where did the lower high come in at? That was about 11 o'clock. So pretty much everything in here, there's no real reason to get short. You could have tried to short of that, whatever. Do what you want, whatever your strategy is. But at the end of the day, we got the breakout. There's no reason to be short. I mean, from 9:15 until 10:15, that first hour, there's no short there. All right. So if you know that the market is going to put in a lower high or it's going to put in a higher low based on a bullish trend or a bearish trend, why would you get short if all it's doing is putting in higher lows, right? We look at the 1 minute chart here and look what it's doing. The market moves in waves. So we push up, we pull back. Guess what? Higher low. We push up, we pull back. Guess what? Higher low. We push up again, we pull back. Guess what? Higher low. And then we get up here, and even then, higher low right there. So still, no short, no short, no short, no reason to get short pretty much anywhere in this area. 10:30, still literally no reason to get short there on the 1 minute chart. So anyone that got short in between here, I don't know what you're doing. You got to stop guessing. You got to start trading. And you got to understand that a bullish trend is very simple. It's putting in higher lows. A bullish trend is putting in higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and making that move up. It's just that simple. Like, you don't have to try to short anything in here. It makes your life so much easier not trying to pick the top and just focusing on actually trading and not worrying about, like, hey, is this the top? Is this the top? Is this the top? Is that the top? No. Who cares? All right. So check this out. Now, let's say I want to start to get short. Let's say I'm looking for a short opportunity. I still don't even think there was a short opportunity until later on, but we pulled back to the VWAP here perfectly. We bounced off the VWAP, and then we start to push back up. If we look at the bigger time frames, like a 5 minute chart, not that that's a bigger time frame, but just let's look at something a little bit bigger. Even on the 15-minute time frame, it's like we're still kind of putting in that higher low right there. We haven't really tested the highs just yet. Like, I would rather see the high get tested and then get denied, and then we start to think about shorting, which ends up happening, right? We have this pivot point right there at the 15,820s. Very simple plan here. We push back into that pivot point. We talked about this. We traded this live on YouTube. So don't sit here and say, oh, Patrick, you're trading this in hindsight. Shut up and let's just listen, right? All right. So at this point, if we put in a lower high right here, right? If we put in a lower high right there, what does that tell me? Well, it's probably not a good idea to get long, right? Like, I don't need to get long here. I don't need to get long here. I just don't need to get long. Because look where we're going. We're heading lower. Why are we heading lower? Well, look, we're putting in lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower highs. All right, we're putting in lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So what does that tell you? It's not about guessing. It's not about trying to figure out where the market's going to go. It's just about understanding that when we are bearish, we put in lower highs. When we are bullish, we put in higher lows. It's all you have to think about. It's literally all you have to think about, my friends. Stop thinking about where the market's going to go. Stop thinking about, is it bearish? Is it bullish? It's that simple. If we're putting in lower highs, if we're putting in higher lows, it's bullish. Look to buy the dip. If we're putting in lower highs, it's bearish. Look to buy. If we're putting in lower highs, it's bearish. look to get short. And look at this move down. So I think really until about maybe 12 o'clock, there really was no reason to get short until like in this area there at the pivot point getting denied. And then you can see that move from the 820s down there to the 683s. So a nice little move back down. We got below the VWAP right here. Nice little setup. This kind of push back up into this VWAP right there. Guess what? It's a bear flag. Bear flag. It's a bear flag. Bear flag. Another bear flag. Another bear flag. Right? Bear flag. Bear flag. Bear flag. We talked about this just the other day. I don't know why anyone's even confused. Anyone's even confused. I mean, this really ends up being a bear flag here as well. You know, when does it really confirm as a bear flag? Well, when we break to the downside out of that flag. Okay, we broke to the downside, boom. 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 I don't know how to make it any easier than that. You know, you can sit here all day long and guess and try to figure out like where to get short, where to get long, or you can just simply be like, hey, what are we doing? We're putting in lower highs. 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 It's that simple. It really is. Like, I don't care what concept you use, what indicator you use, how you trade, whatever it is. At the end of the day, there is only one truth to trading. A lower high after lower high after lower high means what? That we're in a downtrend. If we're putting in higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, we're in a uptrend. Same thing if we're putting in lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. We're in a downtrend. Like, just ask yourself that very simple question. When you're trading, look at the chart and see, like, hey, if the market moves in waves, which way is the wave going? The wave's going down, down. Where do I want to be getting short at? Well, obviously not the bottom of this wave, right? I want to wait for a lower high. Now, how do I know for sure there's going to be a lower high coming up here? Well, I don't know for sure, but I don't need to guess. I don't need to even think about it other than the fact of like, hey, look, if I'm looking to get short here now, what do? I just put my lines on the chart. I just wait. I wait. I be patient. And I wait for this to break down again. And then I look to get short. Right? Like, it's all I have to do. Like, literally all I have to do is just wait for a lower high. And then look to get short. Now, obviously, there's more to it than just simply drawing lines on a chart. You got to understand the overall market and, you know, what's going on with the trend, the flow, and all that fun stuff. But guys, like, let's be honest. If you're having issues trying to short these big moves up, you're having issues trying to buy the dip when the move is going down, it's that simple. How do you solve that problem? You solve it by simply looking at a chart and be like, okay, what's happening here? Lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. I think we're in a downtrend. I think we're in a downtrend. Again, no reason to be short this morning. Until what? Until we put in that lower high. No reason to do anything other than looking for longs until we put in that lower high. Right? Stop guessing. Start trading. Stop trying to figure out exactly where the market's going to go and just wait for the market to give you an entry and then look to take it. It's that simple. Maybe it's not that simple because most people watching this video will end up losing anyway. But I'm trying to help somebody out there who can finally understand that the market moves in what? Waves, 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 waves. Don't short here. 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 Don't short there. If you're having problems identifying the trend, just simply ask yourself, is the market putting in lower highs or higher lows? It's that simple. Let's go.